Last Tuesday, we had a PRD for a new feature in a very complex banking app. And by Wednesday, we had a complete clickable prototype with 14 screens mapped, edge cases mapped, and loading states handled. No designer, no revision back and forth, and just 10 minutes of pure execution with modern AI workflow. And before you say that it is probably some AI slop, I would say hold that thought, because I'm about to show you that it isn't just generating pretty screens. It's the entire thinking process, the flows, the states, the QA problems that your engineering team might discover 3 weeks down the line, and it can cost you the entire sprint. I'm going to walk you through the exact workflow live right now, from a real PRD to a prototype that you could actually put in front of your users and your stakeholders. And I'll show you why this works when every other AI design tool I've tried just doesn't. Let's go. Okay, so here's the dirty secret of product management that nobody talks about on LinkedIn or such platforms. You write a PRD that you're proud of, you send it to the design team, and then you wait 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Your designer is buried in another project. When they finally pick it up, they have questions, lots of questions. What happens when the users have not saved the cards? What if the session times out mid-payment? Did you have a confirmation model or inline success state? And honestly, all of these are fair questions. You didn't spec this because you were thinking about the happy path. Every PM does this. They just think about the happy path. We are wired for it. So now you're in this sort of a revision cycle, number 1, then number 2, then number 3. And by the time engineering sees a prototype, 6 weeks have passed and your window for that feature is constantly shrinking. I tracked this across 3 different companies. The average time for PRD completion to clickable prototype was 18 days. 18 days of calendar time where that idea was just sitting there, aging, losing relevance. The problem was never that designer was slow. The problem was translation layer. The gap between what's in your head and what ends up on the screen, that gap is where the context dies. And that's what I want to fix today. Now, I've tried the obvious solutions. I've used V0, we've used Google Stitch, we've even tried describing screens to ChatGPT or Claude, some general purpose AI, screenshotting the output. Here's what happens every time. You get the screens, they look fine in the isolation, but they have no relationship to each other. There is no flow logic. The navigation doesn't connect. The empty states doesn't exist. And worst of all, the AI has no idea what your product actually looks like. It's designing in a vacuum. So you end up spending more time fixing the output than you saved generating it. That's not a workflow, that's a hobby, and it generally breaks down in complex UX problems. What I needed was something that understood my product before I asked it to design anything, like a real human designer, something that could read my PRD and actually think through the implications the way a senior PM would. That's where Figure comes in. And I want to be clear, this isn't a look at this cool tool video. This is me showing you a real workflow that changed how I ship features. You'll see exactly what works and where the limitations are. Alright, so let me show you this in real time. I'm going to take a PRD and which we had from Mercury, and we will build this inside Figure here. So this is how the PRD looks like. It's more of a feature request of forecasting the runway for founders. And we'll go inside Mercury and I'll use Figure's Chrome extension app and I'll take the entire screenshot of it. But this isn't just a screenshot, it's capturing the complete HTML. All the layers, all the HTML parts, the colors, the corner radius, all the values. And I'll do this for a couple of screens. Figure will capture all of these components and styles and then use this as a context to then use it further. So we'll capture some more screens like the main dashboard and the cards page as well. And Figure is not just capturing the screenshot of it, it's capturing the whole page. And it's complete HTML, all the layers, all the colors, all the specific elements and the components, so that it will be able to reuse all of these again. So it will go into and take up the sidebar navigation, specific components of the filter and everything out. So now once I have these captures, I can just go and copy all the captures and go to Figure and paste it here. Now once I have it, I can also upload the PRD. Before I touch a single screen, I will ask Figure what are the considerations or the key considerations for a runway forecasting feature inside Mercury. So now it will generate a workflow of how do founders actually think about it. So it's a complete mind map of all the different things that can happen. So the scenario builders that we need, they should be trust and transparency. And Figure also goes through the complete PRD to understand the workflow. Now I'll ask Figure to map the edge cases and complete the PRD and all the things that we need before actually going into the designs. So it will go through the competitors' websites. It will actually go through its 200,000 UX patterns and try to understand what all things we need to take care of, what are other startups like Kata or Startup Runway are doing. And Figure will also ask me questions to gather rich context. So it is asking me that, where the runway forecasting should live in the navigation. I can choose to answer some of these questions, or I can just say Figure to continue thinking. So I've answered a few of these questions. So now you can see Figure is planning all the other things that it will do. It will complete the core PRD. It will spec out and it will build an information architecture. It will see all the edge cases and the error states, and it will map it out and finally create the user flows and state diagrams of the whole feature. So now you can see that Figure has generated the state diagram, and before even going into design, it has built out the complete map of how the journey will look like, where when founder opens up the Mercury bank account, then what type of widget it will see, where they will click, and then what will happen. The complete flow is already mapped out with all the cases. And it has also built out a complete PRD. It has we already gave it one PRD, but now it has added more depth. So what type of users, what type of decision it will make. It has also built out a complete feature spec of how and everything will be working on. And we can also edit this as we go. And it's a complete text editor inside Figure. And this is the part where every one of you were waiting for. We'll design screens of all the states and screens. And Figure has built out the complete forecasting feature here. And on this canvas itself, I can go full screen and look at the home screen here. You can also go towards the forecasting and see that how it has built out. And it is also showing me the comparison, and I think all the other buttons, and let's say for example share, export, these are already working. And I think I also get a very interactive chart here that I can. Now I'll also show you how you can actually use it in your exact workflow. You can now use export and copy this to Figma. You can also take it directly to any IDE, and that is also something you can do. So I'll go to Figma and I'll open Figure's plugin and I'll just paste the design here. So now the last step, I export everything back to Figma with one click through our Figma plugin. Everything lands organized. The components are somewhat mapped. You get the tokens, as well as your designer can pick up where you left and not start from a blank canvas. You can also share this prototype link with your stakeholders. They can click through the entire forecasting flow on their phone as well if they want. So now let me explain why this isn't just about speed for speed's sake. The reason why this workflow works is that it's not just skipping steps. It preserves the design fundamentals. You're actually sort of compressing them into a very tight timeline. Research still happens, edge cases still get mapped, flows still get documented, and states still get designed. The best prototypes aren't just the prettiest one. They're the ones that answer every question before it gets asked. The real unlock in Figure's memory system is that it remembers your product across sessions. So next time I design a feature, I don't have to re-explain our navigation, our user types, or our billing logic. It already knows. And that's the product memory concept your AI design tool should have. Every other tool I've used forgets everything the moment you close the tab. Figure remembers, and that compounds over time. That's a concept we called as a context graph that gets stored inside Figure and is being reused again and again as you do any query inside Figure. Is this going to replace your design team? Probably not, and it shouldn't. What this replaces is the waiting, the blank canvas problem, the let me re-explain our product from scratch to yet another tool. Your designers should be spending time on the hard problems, the interaction patterns, the micro animations, the pixel perfect craft, not figuring out what screens even need to exist. Figure handles that exploration for you. Your team handles the refinement. If you are a product manager who's tired of waiting 3 weeks to see your ideas getting visualized, try this workflow today. Paste your next PRD inside Figure. Give it your product context, let it think through the flows before it designs a single pixel. Link is in the description, figure.design, and you can start for free today. In the next video, I will be tearing apart Linear and Jira's onboarding flows. Linear gets users to value in 90 seconds. Jira can take up to 10 minutes. And I'm going to show you exactly where Jira loses people, and screen by screen, we will review their designs. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.